Hi, my name is Giandra Brigitha, and today I'm going to talk to you about the education of the English language in higher secondary education on Curacao, but with a twist. I'm going to analyze the experiences of a teacher I interviewed and also six video 6 students I interviewed as well. To start off, you must know that Curaçao's educational system mimics that of the Netherlands. It has various branches of education. And today, I'm going to focus on the secondary higher education, mainly HAVO 5 and VWO 6. Now, I conducted an interview with a teacher who works at Colegio Alejandro Paula and also three VWO 6 students to talk to them and spoke to them about their experiences um, learning and teaching English currently. Now, the fact that we get the opportunity to learn English on Curacao has various benefits for our students. Our students who will graduate and decide to pursue an education where the English language is important will have its benefits because he or she has sufficient knowledge of the language already. Or if they also choose to study in a country where English is frequently spoken, that will also help them and there will not be a language barrier. The fact that on Curacao we get the opportunity to learn various languages has its benefits, especially for our mental development. And it also will have a benefit for the fact that we are able to understand and communicate with other culture, thus working on our social development, which is very important for a country. But how is English actually taught here in Curacao? Well, when students enter HAVO VEIF and VWO 6, they already enter with a large baggage of English, grammar, and vocabulary. So once they arrive at HAVO 5, they will be assessed on their speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills. To start off, their reading skills will be assessed through means of a packet of text they will receive from which they will have to analyze these texts. They will have to show that they can adequately analyze and be able to discuss certain topics within that text. Now, from the interview I conducted with the teacher in Module 1, she stated that the reading skills of most of our students is not up to par due to the fact that they do not like to read. And this is something I have seen as well and experienced. So I asked the three VWO 6 students I interviewed what will motivate them to read or what can the teacher do to motivate them. And they stated that during text analysis, they would much rather have further guidance from their teacher instead of just getting the packet and working on it. Even though they are HAVO 5 and VWO 6 students, they feel that this extra push or this extra guidance will help motivate them to perform better when it comes to these reading skills, which is a valid argument. Then, their writing skills, on the other hand, is much more up to par compared with their reading skills due to the fact that they carry a large English vocabulary due to the fact that they are so used to hearing English nowadays, and also there's a tradition at the school where most students feel comfortable speaking in English with each other, both on school grounds and off school grounds. And this also has a positive influence on their speaking skills, which I have experienced as well. During my interview, I saw that these students were able to open up freely to me and speak adequately in English with little to minor mistakes, but they were able to present their opinions in a correct and a grammatically correct manner. And the manner in which their speaking skills are being assessed at that level is that in pairs, they get to choose a topic, prepare that topic, read everything they can find about that topic, and then come to school and have a discussion or conversation with their teacher about the certain topic they have chosen, thus proving that they are able to communicate and discuss complex topics, thus being at a B2, which is an upper intermediate level, and some even reach the C1 level in this case. And finally, their listening exam or assessment is through an audio-visual practice. So for the first fragment, students will just listen to an audio fragment and answer questions. And for the second fragment, the students will both hear and see an audio-visual fragment and at the same time answer questions. The students have said during the interview I had with them that it is difficult for them to understand the British accent due to the fact that they are not used to hearing it all the time. But what I found very admirable is that they admitted that it is a challenge and they are up for that challenge and will not give up because of the fact that they are not able to understand clearly. So they are able to take up a challenge and perform. Now, I also asked them about technology, if there isn't any other form of technology they use at school. And they stated that the only form of technology they use is a television where they would look at the audio visual test. And other than that, there aren't any other ways they work with technology. And they've also stated that it would be great if this school in particular, would use an interactive whiteboard, which would make the lessons much more interactive and which would motivate them more. Something that I found very sad was that sometimes in their English classrooms, they don't do anything. And even though they are students who are capable of working at a certain level, it is still great to keep pushing them to develop more skills, even though they are at that level still, because they are open to receiving new information or continue to practice with things they have already been practicing with in the 4 previous years, just as a sort of refresher. And they also stated that it would be great if the teachers were more active. Sometimes they feel like the teacher is happy with just being able to communicate with them about random topics instead of giving them or putting time into the exams they will get. For example, with regards to the speaking part of their assessment, they would much rather have a long time preparing for that. And not saying that they aren't able to do it, but they just would rather hone their skills and be much more prepared. Now, taking everything into account, I can definitely say that the English education here in Curacao is definitely taught on an adequate level. Students are able to communicate freely in English and have a deep appreciation for the language. Now, with regards to the teachers and the lessons, there could be in HAVO 5 and VWO 6, there could be more input instead of just looking at it as they already know everything, so you just have to do this. They would appreciate it more if the training could be much more consequent instead of one time they would do something and the other time they won't. But Curaçao's educational system with regards to the English language definitely produces students who are able to perform very well with regards to the English language. Now, a suggestion. I have At this point in my life, I am teaching at a lower level, at a VSBO level, and I've noticed that indeed the British accent during listening exams are a little bit tough for the students to understand. And one student brought something to my attention which I thought was a really great idea. This student asked, wouldn't it be better if we heard audio fragments with people who speak just like us, or people who are in our area, for example, other Caribbean islands, instead of a British English, which is a little far away and which is not a part of what we are used to. So that is a great suggestion, something that we could research and take into account and see how that will benefit our students, what its pros and cons are. So with this, I would like to finalize my persuasive speech by saying that in order for our students to reach their maximum capacities and competencies, we must give them the tools so that they can go to work properly. Thank you so much for your time. Until the next time.